when this concrete block made its way all the way back into the middle of the crowd of all these light beings, one of the light beings took it and threw it up into the air, into this white light, and that concrete block just dissolved. And when I saw the concrete block dissolve again, I was just taken to my knees in prayer and gratitude. I could feel something very real was happening to me. So taking a few moments to recover from that, and at the same time, I'm aware that I'm still in a room, I'm still meditating, there's other people around me, and I'm totally consumed in this process. But I had the awareness to remember some of my personal growth, and so I'm like, well, I should ask for another. So then I asked God, God, will you take another? And God looked down at me, and without any words, said so many things in just an instant. He said, of course I will. I have been waiting to do this for you. I have been right here ready to do this when you have been ready to ask. And he bent down and he picked up another 4-foot by 2-foot concrete block out of my body. And as it was lifting out of my body, again, I could feel my whole body being vibrating and alive with some new energy that I had never felt before. And he effortlessly picked it up and handed it to the light being to his left. And that light being handed it back, and they handed it back, and they handed it back, and they handed it back. And finally some light being off in the distance just threw it up in the air, and it just dissolved into this white light. And again, I found myself on the floor, tears covering my face. I don't think I could have cried any harder or more complete than I did at that, especially at the second brick being taken away from me. And then it was time for that meditation to end. I could hear someone calling for an end to the meditation. So I wanted to say goodbye. I wanted to go back and thank God for what had happened. I turned back around to see God again and see all the light beings. And when I turned around, I saw them all bowing to me, God included, for honoring me. And in the way that they speak without words, giving me so much appreciation and gratitude for being here in this physical form. And I felt all the love and all the support of all those light beings. And it was at that moment that I knew that I was a beautiful gem in the eyes of God. I knew that I was so precious. And that feeling imbued inside of me permanently, and I knew how worthy I was in that moment. And again, I was brought to my knees in such a state of connection and acceptance and acknowledgement and gratitude. And then the meditation was over, and life resumed. I didn't know that that was anything more than just an extraordinary meditation. And the seminar concluded. I had a very high state of connection from then to the end of the seminar. I didn't have the same agitation inside. But the moment that the seminar was over, the moment that the context of that event was over, my very first stop was to Jack in the Box to get a really big hamburger and fries and drop right back into my pattern of eating to feel good, to soothe myself. So I'm like, oh great, another spiritual peak experience that was really just an experience and there's nothing permanent left over. And I just went back to my life. I didn't change anything. I continued to eat ice cream, eat the foods I wanted to eat, watch TV, be lazy, be however I wanted to be, because that was my commitment, is to, if I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to find a way to do it naturally and from within. And I continued on that program. But wouldn't you know it, a couple months later, I started noticing maybe I am eating a little less. Maybe my clothes are fitting a little bit looser. And several months down the road, I discovered that I was losing about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds a month without any effort on my part, with no conscious decision. The only thing I had to go on was that meditative experience, and it all happened from there. And somehow I didn't need to eat as much. I didn't need to fill myself as much with the garbage that I was filling myself with. I had an elevated state of well-being that was permanent. And that state of well-being, the more I continued to keep focusing on what is good and what is right in my life and on my connection with God, kept increasing and increasing. And the more it increased, the less I had to eat and the less of a slave I was to food. That is one part of what has helped me to lose weight, but I think it's one of the most significant. There are other things, such as getting rid of anger in my body so that I could work out, so that I could tolerate working out. There are other times when I've told the truth and felt my feelings about things that were very difficult to do, but once I did them, more weight came off. And I'll share more about those things later. But what I hope you're left with is that all the changes that have taken place in my life have come down to a combination of focusing very deeply and feeling very deeply. I was focused on my desire and asking for help with everything, every ounce of focus that I had. And I was feeling everything. I was feeling my frustration. I was feeling my desperation. And because of my willingness to so deeply feel my desperate place, I believe I was also available to feel the love of God, to feel the help, to experience and take in what was available to take in when the time was right. So fully feeling, fully focusing is the bottom line on everything that's helped me to lose weight and to find peace in my heart and in my mind.